there is a new thing with Ethan Klein's lawsuit. Apparently, he is going after Reddit and Discord for this, like the Snark subreddits, to get the member information. So, Legal Mindset put this out. He put it out as little fast facts. And I am intrigued. So, yeah, let's see what we got going.
Ethan Klein is set to expose the Reddit and Discord moderators that were stacked against him as he gears up in his lawsuits against Casey Tron, Frogan, and Denims. And this is absolutely one of the moments that is legally inevitable. And it's one of the moments that I think people didn't fully understand, but they're coming to grips now with how absolutely cooked they are going to be in court when they're seeing the consequences of their actions.
Yeah. Well, I get to your point. No, he's not fishing. This is, you know, in the discovery phase is that, you know, they're looking for more people that are involved in this. My guess is he's probably gunning for the you know, he's gunning for the people that were part of these subreddits that were a part of not only what happened with the copyright suit that he's already facilitating, but it could, you know, in the discovery of the mods of these subreddits, then he could also be working on simultaneously gathering evidence for a case against the people that sent the skulls to his home and sent CPS to his house. So this could be not only in terms of gathering evidence for the copyright case, but also evidence for a secondary suit that he may be looking to file against mods and members of the subreddits that facilitated their harassment against them.
Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Now, as I've stated, the legal basis for the Ethan Klein lawsuits, at least at a fundamental level, at a filing level, i.e., are these claims that are going to survive in court, survive a motion to dismiss? It looks pretty good for them. It looks very good for them in terms of their survivability in court, and we've gone over this on previous lives and previous fast facts. And of course, this is a fast facts video. So if you do like this format, please let me know in the comments below. But
I like it. It's good to react to.
Now is subpoenas. And we finally have just released the subpoenas that are going from the court from, you know, Ethan Klein.
Student of history, don't insult the rats. I'm a rat. Don't insult the rats.
To all of these members to get these members' information at Reddit and Discord. And they're subpoenaing Reddit and Discord themselves. So they're not asking these moderators themselves personally, hey, can you dox yourself? Can you give us your personal information, please, pretty please? Oh, no, 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 no. They're going to the companies and they're saying, hey, Reddit and Discord, as a company, you must comply with this and you must give us this information. A subpoena is a legal request to provide information. And his story.
Now, something I'm going to say is in the modern age, subpoenas have not seemed to have held the same weight they once did, at least to my eyes. In that, let me specify what I mean here. Yes, a subpoena is a court order and people are compelled to obey court orders. However, in recent years, we have heard numerous instances of subpoenas being issued to people in various legal cases, and these people have just said, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And nothing comes about of it. We have heard like where parties have been subpoenaed for something by the courts, and then those parties that have been subpoenaed just kind of go, fuck it, I'm not going to follow it, and nothing ever happens about it. The Buffalo school system hunter is, we're not there yet. Or no, wait, no, you're talking about from previous. Yeah, it's things like that. Aussie fans, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Thank you so much. But what someone over on Twitch said is, yeah, a subpoena means nothing if there's no enforcement for it. So that's the tell here. Is okay. Documents have been subpoenaed from Reddit and Discord. What's going to happen if Reddit and Discord go? What's going to happen when Reddit and Discord basically go, fuck you, we're not giving up anything? Are the courts actually going to act and facilitate punishment for not obeying the court order? Because we have seen it too many fucking times in recent years where people just said, okay, I've got a subpoena. I'm choosing to ignore it, and nothing happens. So I'm not saying that's going to happen in this case. I'm just saying with with high-profile cases that we've seen in recent past involving subpoenas, and they were basically ignored and nothing came about it, that's where my concern is. Now, if Reddit and Discord basically go, fuck it, we're not going to do anything about it, and then Ethan and his lawyer say, cool, game on, and they actually keep pushing on it and follow up on it, that'll be a whole different story. So I'd be curious to see what's going to happen. Well, the Buffalo School District, that's another one, but again, nothing was pursued otherwise. Now, side tangent, I know Nick is working with the lawyer that is filing a suit against the Buffalo School District. He talked about it on UDSUB. He gave him the entire copy of his binder, and he was actually talking with him and bringing up points that the lawyer was like, oh, that's an excellent point. So, and let's not forget that Nick is going to be like a fucking pit bull on the hunt with this Buffalo court case. So definitely going to be different there. Plus, the boys have major fucking connections. So a little bit different than with Ethan.
Historically, companies, particularly companies like Reddit and Discord, as much as they may say they have certain values and they may lean one way politically or another, at the end of the day, they're going to comply with the court. They don't want to deal with legal issues. They don't want to tie themselves up.
We'll
and they
see.
have no individual loyalty to a
I saw that,
or,
Alistair.
somebody who's in a particular subreddit. So when they get these requests, they are going to turn over this information. And I think a lot of people, particularly on the internet, feel very...
I don't think they're just going to hand it over. I do think they may try and fight it. I said, no, not saying that they're going to win that fight, but I don't think Reddit and Discord are just going to roll over and hand this over. I do think that they will probably try to, at very least, fight it. What are their odds of success on successfully fighting it? I don't know. Probably low. But companies like these, particularly like social media like this, they're going to fight it because if they just roll over and hand over the documents, you're going to have a lot of people in the, on these platforms that will suddenly start going, well, if they're just going to hand over my records, why am I going to continue on this platform? I'm deleting my account because I don't want to get doxxed because for whatever reason, regardless of the fact of whether or not it's justifiable or not. And so that's why social media fans will usually try and fight this. So it's, they're not going to hand it over quick. There's going to be back and forth, at the very least, delay tactics. So we'll see.
Very shielded by the anonymity of a screen name, of a pseudonym. And they think that's going to protect my information forever. Well, that's not the case. And we're seeing that here in the Ethan Klein lawsuit. So here we have, and I'll go through these as courtesy of X, these subpoena documents. So you see here, subpoenaing documents and information, all documents and communications containing the personal identifying information. So anything they've got in their name, address, etc., email, all phone number if they've got it, whatever they have, they want on these Reddit users. So we've got this Reddit.
And this is what I'm talking about, where they want the documents, communications pertaining the legal identifying information of this particular Reddit user. And they, That's why I do think they will fight it so they can at least say, look, we tried to fight it in court and the courts ruled against us. Too bad, so sad. But I do think a lot of users might go, I imagine we're going to start seeing the Snark subreddit and whatever discords these people were in that facilitated the copyright infringement case, that facilitated the organization of this copyright infringement. We're going to see that empty. The Snark subreddit is probably going to turn into a ghost town after this, because everyone's going to fucking bail out going, I don't want any part of this. And whatever discords that were a part of it too, they're going to be like, okay, we're out.
Use it. Exempic dealer. There you go. They're going to get their information revealed. H3 Snark mod team. H3 Snark mod team 2. Roman P. Right Salamander. Cav 2. H3 Snark mod team 3. Wrong Salamander. Right Salamander. Pure Press. And we've got a last page here. Kitchen Mukbang Star. Sarah Horn Jewett. Sarah Horn. Jewett Horn Sarah. And all others that were moderators of the H3 Snark Reddit and the H3 Snark Discord. So you're going to get all that information turned over to Ethan Klein. The villain arc Ethan Klein, as people are saying, is going to have all of that information. And we kind of know where this leads. Oh, and by the way, there's a little bit more here. This is going as to Discord. You can see here the Discord handle Yogi Berex, Ali Turn, and Roswell NM. So you've got other information from Pooh and no reception.
And no reception.
So this from Discord and from Reddit, you're going to have this information turned over. And a lot of people feel very, very free on Discord and Reddit, doing whatever they're going to do or saying whatever they're going to say. And they also think that deleting is going to cause these things to magically disappear, as if they're not saved, as if they're not archived, as if they...
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised he brought that up. Yeah, there are a lot of these users are going to go, oh shit, and delete their accounts. Especially now that Legal Mindset has posted this out, because no doubt they're keeping a very close eye on it. They're going to delete their accounts, but as I've pointed out, deleting shit on the platform doesn't mean it goes away. The companies are legally obligated to keep records of their users for umpteen years. I'm not even sure how many years by law they have to keep the records, but this is all stored on their server. It's the same thing with, when, excuse me, when like Denims and when Frogan, when they started deleting their VODs, it's the same thing. Just because they deleted them off the website itself doesn't mean that the VODs went away. They are kept in the company servers, and they're kept there. Mechanist, you're thinking is about 7 to 10 years. That sounds about right. Yeah, all this information is kept in the company servers. So unless someone from the company goes into the servers and actually deletes the information out, which of course would be tampering with evidence, it's still there. Deleting your account, deleting VODs does not make them go away. They're already there. You're not going to get rid of them. You don't have the ability to permanently delete them.
Can't be pulled up. That is absolutely not the case. In many cases, both civil and criminal, you've been able to go back, and companies are going to go back and get all of these records because the companies maintain these records. And what this is going to lead to is certainly connections to other people which may be added to the lawsuit. So let's say, and this is not just hypothetically, this is almost certain here, that these people were speaking to other influencers, were speaking to perhaps people that are party to lawsuit, Denims, Frogan, Casey Trump, maybe other people. We talked about Sean DeBlack, right? Other folks that were connected to this. Those links are going to come in. And if there's any, for example, to Papa Hassan or anybody else, that'll come out too. Now, that's not to say whether there is or not, whether the Godfather Hassan was involved in this or not. We can't say.
Andrew, don't give him that level of credit, okay? Hassan is a little cuck boy. Don't give him the accolade title of Godfather. Hassan is not a godfather. Hassan is a grandbaby at best. Okay, he is a pissy little cuck boy that hides away in a corner the minute you actually confront him with facts, and just goes, what? Huh? What? I appreciated snark. I appreciated snark. He wasn't being serious and he was being snarky. Even with snark, don't give Hassan any kind of credit like that, like calling him Godfather Hassan. Makes it even as a snark, it makes him sound way more important than he actually is.
Say right now. But if theoretically, hypothetically, there is, that will come out through discovery process, through this subpoena process. There's not going to be a defense or an exemption or something that's going to keep your Discord messages or your Reddit messages or comments or whatever else. There's nothing that's going to keep those from being exposed. There's no possible defense. And there's no lawyer out there. And I would challenge any lawyer to give me a defense that they would have for their Reddit communications or Discord communications that would keep those from being subpoenaed. I will wait because there really isn't one, right? Once again, they can argue the unfairness, the power imbalance, et cetera, et cetera. Even if that's true, it doesn't change the legal reality. The legal reality is these documents and communications will be turned over in time. They're going to take some time to process it and look at it. Now, of course, if one of them was magically speaking to an attorney, maybe there might be some attorney-client privilege. I doubt it. I highly, highly doubt that these people.
No, it's, I mean, given that the communications in question are in regards to facilitating copyright infringement, where, facilitating the organization of watching Ethan's video on one of their 3 streams, expressly for the purpose of taking money away from Ethan, specifically for copyright infringement purposes, and specifically to not be transformative. And my guess is that is probably in the communications. There's no talking. That none of them were talking to a lawyer on this. None of them are smart enough to think maybe we should consult a lawyer on this. They just basically went with the fucking Gen Z mentality of, yeah, we gotta stick it to Ethan. We're gonna stick it to Ethan. This is how we're gonna do it. They were not even thinking 1 step ahead, much less 2 to 3 steps ahead.
But we're solely messaging and communicating with an attorney, right? The only other exception would be perhaps if some of these people were minors, there might be some filtering of information there. But other than that, there really isn't anything that would come up that would filter out information or communications. And I think this is where the broader case that Ethan Klein is going for is going to be built. He's going to build this broader case against those that collaborated, perhaps had a conspiracy, one might say, to use that term, to redirect views, to take those views from his videos. Because at the core, this is a copyright infringement case. So he needs to prove, hey, these people worked together and collaborated to draw views from my video. And to the extent that can be proved, that's going to be relevant to the case. However, there is going to be other information that's going to come out just as a natural course that is not directly related. How is this going to happen? Well, let's say you have an email or a message. Do you think these people are just talking about that? No, they're probably saying a whole lot of other things. Perhaps some nasty things, perhaps some crazy things.
Perhaps some incriminating things discussing the mailing of skulls or false calls to CPS with false allegations of child abuse or neglect. And this is what I was talking about earlier.
Things that unveil other schemes and plots that they were into that Ethan Klein will now get a hold of. He'll have those documents. And at some point, he may be able to reveal those. He may be able to turn those over to the public and release those out there. And that is not going to look good for that whole crew. It's going to look very bad for the crew. Now, do I think this is going to shut down entire communities or stop Reddit or stop Discord? No, of course it's not. But it's
counterpoint. I do think it is going to shut down communities. I think this is going to shut down the Snark subreddit because once it starts being revealed that all of this information is being brought out, and depending upon what they find in those documents that are turned over to Ethan and his attorneys, that may open the door for them to ask for additional documentation on additional users in that subreddit, in those Discords. So is it, in terms of legally shutting down the subreddit and the Discord? No, certainly not. That's not what I'm saying. However, I do think those Discords and those subreddits will fucking empty. That's what I'm saying. They will turn into fucking ghost towns because everybody is going to be running for the hills because they think that because they're going to be scared, they're going to be targeted next. And I guarantee you, everyone in those communities was bad mouthing the fuck out of Ethan and were saying things that could be considered incriminating in some way. So they are going to be bailing out as fast as humanly possible and possibly deleting their accounts as well because they're going to be scared. Because again, well, this is for the copyright infringement case. That doesn't mean to say that Ethan may not get this information and then utilize it to build another civil case against these users for something either sideways of this current issue or an entire new issue altogether. So it's going to empty these Reddits, just not via legally shutting them down or anything like that.
Going to expose more and more people to liability as this case builds up over time. This thing will become bigger and bigger and grow. But what do you guys think about this? I'm interested to hear in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Always a pleasure. And Sabercross, thank you for the follow. So yeah, this is definitely opening the door for a serious legal firestorm, potentially. A very serious legal firestorm. The potential here for Ethan and his lawyers to just royally fuck up a lot of people is peak right now. I'm really kind of curious how this is going to go. I do think we're going to start seeing reports from the likes of, say, Rev, saying that these subreddits and these discords are just emptying the fuck out. I imagine we are going to hear that before too long.